they'll lynch you. But he did, and he laughs.
Happy Wednesday, West Ham Network. It's Holly and I'm here with today's daily, chatting through one of the most talked about topics over the last 24 hours. If you haven't already, please do subscribe, because we would hate for you to miss out on any of the excitement this transfer window or after it for that matter. And we've got a lot of brilliant content in the works. Today, we are going to be talking about the striker situation, as last night a post went out on Twitter that infuriated a lot of fans. It included comments from Scamacca, which looks pretty horrendous, to be honest, saying, "Roma is my home. It would be my dream scenario to have Jose Mourinho as manager. I'm sure I'd improve my skills a lot under Jose at Roma." So obviously it did ring alarm bells. A lot of people concerned about our choice of manager moving forwards. There's a lot going on with all of that. And to hear one of your strikers basically come out and say that the choice of manager looks more appealing elsewhere, not ideal, is it? But it did look pretty awful. I went to bed pretty grumpy, as I'm sure a lot of others did. And it felt like another bit of bad news in what we'd hope would be the window where we'd actually find it easiest to grow our squad rather than just see a list of players leaving. However, the one thing I would say is that these comments were taken from the front page of Gazzetta, saying that the full interview would follow. And then when the full interview did follow this morning, it became obvious that those quotes were actually taken out of context and we'd all fallen victim to a bit of cheeky journalism. So it was nowhere near as bad as it sounded. The parts that were missed out included Scamacca saying, "If I were to return to Syria, it wouldn't be because I failed in England," which is not the case, simply because it would be an indispensable opportunity. "I've always reasoned from the heart and will continue to do so in the future. And you know what the two colours are in my heart. But now I'm a West Ham player and despite the rumours, I feel good here too. For me, Rome is my home and Totti, the idol as a child. And what player in the world wouldn't dream of being coached by Mourinho?" So it looks as though he's obviously spoken passionately about Rome, which doesn't come as a huge surprise, but he has also said that he is happy at West Ham. Many are also questioning whether these comments were made a while back and are only being released now to stir things up in the transfer window, which would not surprise me at all, because we all know how it works with the rumours being released at perfect timings to help certain clubs. But the big question now is, how is everyone actually feeling about the Scamacca situation? So drop us a comment and let us know your thoughts. Do we need to replace him? Should he be given the opportunity to prove what he can do at the club? What do you think we should actually do with him, especially after these comments? Has it bothered you? Is it like water off a duck's back? Are we just gonna carry on? So personally, I'm still keen to hold on to Scamacca, providing he's willing to give it absolutely everything, as I think he's got the potential to be a solid striker for us. I've said it before, I feel like he's a middle ground between an Antonio and an Ings, where he's more physical than Ings and makes stuff happen a little bit more. Obviously not as much as Antonio, but he's got a better finish than Antonio, more similar to Ings. So I think he's a good middle ground. And we've seen that we need a very specific type of player to work as a striker for us. So I'd be interested to at least see him given a fair run out. The injuries have made that very difficult. But yeah, I think he's got the potential to be a solid striker for us if he's able to hunt the ball down while keeping a more clinical finish than Antonio. But if he was to go, how much would you want for him? We signed him for 30.5 million from Sassuolo. So I don't think we should accept any less than 35 million. Because the price of every single player has gone up. We've seen how they're increasing every year. And even if he might be trying to push a move with a few comments in the media, it's a difficult one. But let us know what you think in the comments. Would you let him go? How much would you want from him if we do? Do you want to hold on to him? And this obviously brings up the question of all of our strikers. So I said a few weeks ago that I don't think a striker should be our main priority this window. However, the thought of losing Scamacca and Antonio anytime soon, it does worry me, as Ings would actually be the first striker that I would choose to replace, which obviously leaves us with very few options. So yeah, it's a little bit concerning, and it does worry me. And if we were to get a replacement in, as we know, it's not that easy. We don't know how quickly they'd settle. As you can see from every team in the world of football, you do kind of need one of those striker players. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to see what we choose to do. Because currently, we don't seem to have the money to spend, and we're just getting more and more priority positions that need strengthening, which isn't ideal. But there is one thing for sure, and it is definitely now up to Scamacca to prove himself on the pitch, to show how much he wants to be at West Ham, because he's got one hell of a job ahead of him and a massive opportunity if he's fit again and wants to fight for it, which he looks as though he is ready to be playing again. We've seen glimpses of him playing well, and it's also a concern to me that he's so injury prone. But now is the time for him to show what he can do. And the other thing is, even if he does want to go to another club, if we're wanting at least 35 million for him, who's actually going to spend that on a player that has barely been able to prove themselves in the Premier League and has been injured for such a long period? It's very difficult to actually sell a player like that. So even if he did push for a move, I feel like it would actually be quite difficult to get rid of him unless we lost a lot of money, which I don't think we should do. So let us know in the comments what your thoughts are on this entire striker fiasco. What do you think we should do? Why do our strikers keep coming out and saying things in the media? No one knows. If you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up and make sure that you're subscribed. Keep an eye out for the Hammers headlines later today, where I'm going to be running through the top 3 stories in association with KUMB.com. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy everything you're up to. And until next time, come on you irons. Have a good one.